Back on the SQ5 today. Sorry it's been a long week. I actually managed to get a slot in the body shop which came up last minute, otherwise looking at sort of a month wait. So the car shot off to the body shop to get those bits done, which I'll show you in a second. But in today's video we are going to be concentrating primarily on the wiring and trying to get rid of all the faults that the car has electronic wise, and yeah, hopefully also get it through an MOT. But I'll just show you, now it's obviously back from the body shop, what has been done. So as you can see, this wing has been painted. Luckily there was no actual damage to the wing itself, it was just bubbling of the paint due to the fire damage. But as you can see now, look, wing looks sweet. So that has been done, colour matched perfectly as well. So that's the wing. I got the rear boot lid painted because there was a few scratches here, so obviously they've had to remove the badge. So the rear boot lid's been painted, and also this corner has been done as well. If you remember, it was a load of damage around here, and also it had been painted previously poorly. So now, yeah, as you can see, it looks a lot better, more of a factory finish. So really happy with that. So that is the, all the bodywork done basically now on the car, so it is good to go. We just need to do our bit now, which is yeah, the wiring, putting a badge back on there, swapping that for the SQ5 badge. What else have we got? Yeah, all the wiring which we're going to do now. What else we got? The offside inner CV boot, clean up the under trays, clean up the sound deadening where the soot or where the fire was, so we can clean all that up, and yeah, hopefully get it for MOT and it will pass. But as I say, the key to all that happening is the wiring. That is the most important thing. So that is what I'm most eager to do, and that is what we're going to do first. So I'm just going to roll it in. I'm not going to put it on the ramp for this one, because if I had it in the ramp in the corner, it'd be a bit tight working space, a bit hard to get a camera in there, a bit too dark as well, won't be able to see much. So I'm just going to put it as far over to the left as I can, just jack it up, take the wheel off, and yeah, and hopefully I'll get me a lot more room, bit of light in there as well, so you guys can see what I'm doing. So let's get her in. Tune. These are all the lights we're going to hopefully be fixing today. I have a lot of them. So I've just taken the wheel off to have a look at the what we've got to do, and I've noticed that the body shop have literally just painted my top suspension blue. Like, what the hell? Just put something over it, for Christ's sake. Now it just looks shit. So I'm now gonna have to spend 20 minutes sanding it back down. Right, it's not perfect, but luckily it was quite dirty, so the paint settled on most of the dirt, so I've got most of it off, so it looks alright now, look. But still, Jesus. Right, now on to the matter. He's also painted all the wiring up here. I mean, I did say just to prime and paint the inside of the wing as well, because obviously the fire would have burnt off the primer and paint, leaving bare metal, which will be obviously subject to rust. So I did say paint the inside of the wing as well, just to obviously stop it from going rusty. But yeah, he's literally painted all the wiring. So let me just get all the wiring down. I'll cut some cable ties, pull some clips out, and then yeah, see what we are completely working with. Right, I know it's gonna be quite difficult to see on camera, but bear with me. So we did have some burnt tape here, and I have just taken all the tape back on this bit of loom here, and the wiring is all absolutely fine. It was just melted tape, so we're fine here. That just needs retaping. Now that should now localize the damage from between here, where my thumb is, and here. So around about a foot of wiring that needs replacing. And also we have the ABS cable wiring as well, which is a Loom splicing off around about here. So we do have, yeah, so I need to cut it here, and as I say, we have to replace a foot of cable and then probably about another foot sort of for the ABS cable here. So here goes nothing. We'll start from about here. And by the way, I have just disconnected the battery. And that, hopefully, is our crap Loom cutout. Now, a big problem that I do have is because this wiring is so mangled and completely fused together, broken, you name it, I was kind of hoping that every single wire here would be color coded differently, so it would be really easy to match up. Now, this has been the case for the majority. However, I do have 3 earths that are all the same gauge, so that's going to make it trickier. So I've got one here, one brown wire here, and I've got another 2 up here. So here I have 3 earths that are all the same size, and those 3 earths all the same size, no idea which one goes where. Now, after doing a little bit of research, obviously I have 3 earth wires here that are all the same, and 3 here, so trying to work out what one goes to which is going to be pretty difficult unless I go to an electrical wiring diagram, find the pinouts, and then do some continuity tests to find out which is which. Now that will take a very long time. So plan B I'm going to attempt now is, I know this wiring loom is absolutely fried, but I think I'm going to try and work out which cable is which. I'm going to have to melt it maybe apart, I don't know yet, and hopefully it might give me some clues. So yeah, I'm going to do that now and see how we get on. Right, bear with me because this is an absolute ball ache way of doing it. In hindsight, I should have probably not cut the wires and tried to unfold this, but if I'm honest, I just completely didn't think about what more than one wire being the same colour. When I think about it, brown wire's obvious because it's earth predominantly, but no, just didn't think of it, got trigger happy, cut the wire, and now I've spent the last sort of half an hour trying to work out which goes which. So yeah, so we've got the 3 earth cables that I wasn't sure where they would link up. I have now narrowed it down, so I've paired up each wire to where I cut it. Because of the cut marks, it makes it a little bit more obvious, a bit easier to work out. So both ends I've worked out which wire comes from where. So now my task is going to be to try and dismantle this without breaking it, so then I can obviously marry up the wire so I know which one then goes where. That's the plan. Hopefully I'll be able to dismantle this all right. So here's all the wire I bought. I didn't bother going to get the same ones because it'd be quite hard, because they're all different, they're all split colours as well, so it'd be pretty much impossible to do everything like for like. So what I've done is I have about 3 or 4 different gauge wires in here, and all I've done is just order a length of each different gauge wire, 5 meters of each, and then I can use them as replacement wires. Right, so I'm just going to show you the first one. Now I've got it all ready to go, and what I'm using here are some solder heat shrink connectors. So basically we put the connector over the wire. We obviously cut the end of the wire, splice the end off, both ends, and then we just put the heat shrink connector over it, and we'll leave it so the solder is where the bare wire is. I don't know if you can see this very well. There we go, look, so the solder's in the middle, and what we'll do is you butt that up to the new one, which I have prepared here, and we'll push it in. I'll try and overlap it if I can. Just get it in there. So let me just show you. See if I can zoom. Right, so I don't know if you can see that very well, but I've pushed both wires in. The spliced ends both overlapping in the middle of the solder, and then all we've got to do is a lowish heat setting. We'll heat the solder up so it melts, and that will then create a solid connection, and then we can heat up the wire around it to make it waterproof as well. So the insulation around the wiring will heat up as well, creating a watertight seal, and we'll have no problems with water ingress. There we go, look, solder's melted. Getting all in the wiring. Now just heat up the sleeves. And there we go. I'll just hold it for a couple of seconds because at the minute obviously it's floppy because it's hot. Wait till it sets. And there we go, there's one join done. Right guys, and there we have one wire all soldered up, look, and as you can see, fully connected. I'm not even going to bother time-lapsing this because it's going to probably take me about an hour and a half, and also you're just going to see arms going everywhere. It's just going to be a bit of a mess. So yeah, I'm just going to come back. I might intervene halfway once I've done half of them maybe, but other than that I'll see you in probably an hour and a half once I've got all the wires done, and yeah, we can see if it's worked. Right, I ended up just cracking on with it because it was taking forever and I just wanted to get on with it. It took about 2 hours to do, but I think I'm finally there. All wires, all now fully matched up, all with solder heat connectors which are fully waterproof, and we've got my ABS cable up here as well, and all CAN bus wiring. You can see CAN bus wiring because that's twisted together, so all CAN bus wiring has been twisted as well, same over here. So now it should all be good to go. So I've just hooked up VADCOM, and hopefully it's going to be the first time I've hooked up as well actually. So yeah, first time I'm hooking up VADCOM, so we're going to read the codes and hopefully they are all intermittent and they will all clear. Fingers crossed there will be no more errors on the dash. There might still be some for like ABS because I might have to drive, and no, I'm not too sure, Let's have a look and see what we've got. Right, start. I mean, I've still got loads of faults. It's not a good start, is it? And there we go. Surprisingly, the only one that hasn't got a fault is one of the ones that I thought would need driving to rectify, and that is the steering angle sensor. Every other control module has a fault. So let's just now clear all DTCs and see what we have left. I mean, I do still have some warnings on the dash, so I'm now not hopeful that everything is going to be fixed. Okay, so we've got a few, so let's go into them control modules. No communication with front distance sensor. You have to interesting. Control module for distance control. Right, so obviously the good news is we've gone through VADCOM and 99% of my problems have been resolved by fixing the wiring. There is only one problem that remained, and that was communication to my adaptive cruise module, which is that unit with the little yellow sticker on there. So that, I'm assuming at the moment, is to do with the wiring. I am just going to check fuses first just to see if it is a fuse related issue, but if it's not, ideally I need to fix it. I mean, it will pass MOT fine without that adaptive cruise working. It's not an MOT failure, but it just obviously, as I've got all the wiring here, because obviously to pass MOT I'll have to tuck it all up, put the wheel arch liner in, and that's a bit of a pain in the ass to do if I've then got to take it apart to try and fix that. I mean, I have booked an MOT slot for tomorrow, so I am on borrowed time. I'm even talking quickly. So yeah, ideally I need to fix this here and now. So first thing I'm going to do is, yeah, check some fuses. But basically I've got fuse locations there, look. It's easy just to Google stuff like this because for some reason Audi have stopped giving you fuse board diagrams, etc. So on my diagram it says A9 is adaptive cruise. So obviously A being here and then 9. So A is this one here. So I've just got to go 9 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and really hoping that this is blown. Yes! There we go, look, blown fuse. Now really hoping that this now solves my issue. Right, new fuse going in. Bosh. Right, let's start the computer up and hopefully, fingers crossed, we get a clean bill of health. Okay, I've fixed it now, no fault codes found. All I had to do was an ignition cycle. That's kind of sorted it out because I went into instrument cluster and there was no fault codes stored, so it was a bit of a weird one. But no, an ignition cycle has now cleared the fault, and also it's no longer on the dash telling me that it's faulty as well. So, fingers crossed, well no, we do. We have a clean bill of health. Right, so now that's all our electrical faults sorted. I have my special Loom tape here, and I'm now going to clean all this up, tie all the looms back up so it looks pretty much like it was before the fire, and yeah, attach them to their proper places. So I'm going to put this on the time lapse because it's probably going to take me about half an hour. And there we go, just like that, it is all done. So wiring, all looking, I mean, pretty much factory. I mean, you'd only really tell because it's new and clean. But yeah, all in position. Look, I've got to go down to Audi this afternoon anyway to pick up a couple of, well, I need a wheel arch liner and that back-ordered engine part, which is now turned up. So I've got to go there anyway to pick those up. So I'm going to get a couple of clips because as you can see there, look, I've got one clip in. But there's one clip that broke, so obviously once I get that, that'll be clipped up out the way. And then, yeah, all good to go. So, sweet, job done. So, lesson learnt there is I'm 100% guilty of this. I do it all the time. Jumping the gun, I just went in, cut the loom without really even thinking about it. I mean, the wiring loom was an absolute mess, but in the end, I did manage to pick out the wires, which was the reason I managed to match them up correctly. But I wasted a good, probably hour doing that when I could have not cut the looms, worked out what the wires were a lot quicker. So yeah, note to self, assess the situation properly before you go in and not just cut the wiring loom like I did first thing. So, but anyway, doesn't matter now, job is complete. And the next thing we need to do is replace that inner drive shaft boot because that is a mess. So back on the ramp. Right, so I've actually gone quite in depth with the electrical repair because quite a lot of people asked for it, so I have done that, which means that this video is probably quite long already, so I'm going to actually split it into two parts. So I'm going to do the rest of the stuff, including the MOT, in the next video. Unfortunately, if I didn't do that, then there wouldn't be another video for another 5 or 6 days. So, and I'm very much aware that it's been probably nearly 2 weeks already since the last video. So at least you've got something until just after the weekend, and I'll get part 2 out. And yeah, that'll be finishing the car off, getting it for MOT, and hopefully that'll be the SQ5 done. So as always guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you did enjoy the video, and please do subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers guys.